Sorry about that. Yeah, sorry about that. I did a reboot my modem again, and it reset again. If that doesn't work, I'm gonna have to do a hard reset. I'm gonna have to wipe the network and redo the settings. If that doesn't work, then there might be something wrong with them, because my roommate's been saying it's been doing it all day with the modem. So it's possible. It's possible there might be. It could be the modem. The modem could be going out, or there's a conflict with the update because it said it did a firmware update recently. So I read online that's possible. That could be causing it to do a boot loop. It's trying to update the software, but it can't, and it reboots it to update it. And then it fails, and it has to redo it again. So sometimes they say you gotta hard reset it, so it'll get the update to push through. I can definitely see that happening, where the update's not properly updating. It's like the server has to push the update to the device, and it's like, oh, you got to update, and then it'll reset. And if it fails, then it tries it again, and that might be what's happening. No, it's fine. I just gotta change the Wi-Fi password. I know what the Wi-Fi password is, so I know I can just go into settings and set it. That's fine. Like, I'm literally all I do is I set the Wi-Fi password and the admin password. I can that's easy. I just got to do it on the app. Log in, just wipe everything, factory reset. Takes like 5 minutes. And then I have to configure the admin password, change it to whatever I want, and then change the Wi-Fi password back to the way it was. And then that should be it. That should be the entire upgrade. The routers are already set. I don't need to change the routers. I just need to change the gateway. The routers are fine. But if that reset doesn't work, that hard reset doesn't work, because that's the last thing you can do, then it's something wrong with then there's something wrong with the hardware. I don't do port forwarding. Mine's all auto. I don't need to use any port forwarding. No, I have it all on default. All I do is set the security parameters. That's it. Well, again, it's possible. It's possible it could be hardware related. Or again, it could just be the firmware is not updating, or it could be maybe the device is overheating. That does happen. But I only had it for a little over a year. I think I've had this service for going on a little over a year. Yeah, I think it's only been like a year since I switched over. The modem shouldn't be going out already. So it might just be a simple firmware update issue. It could be because the previous settings I'm having it's conflicting with the update. Like I said, I'm just trying this game's update. I want to see the third person mode. Let's see how much it feels, how different it feels with the third person view. I turned off the modem for like 2 minutes and rebooted it, and so we'll see if that does anything. if it doesn't work, I'll just do the hard reset. Hopefully that fixes it. I'll just be out for like 30 minutes. But I'll know in like 20, 30 minutes if it resets again. If it does, then I'm going to have to do the hard reset. But if it goes longer than that and doesn't reboot, then well, could be issue resolved. But they definitely did an update recently, I think, because I remember checking the firmware version. It's a newer version. Feels really weird. Feels really weird in this perspective. It feels a little better playing it like this. To me, it feels a little better. What was I saying about nostalgia earlier? saying it's a bad it's a bad way to it's a bad way to use nostalgia as a way to basically make something feel fun or good, like when that's your whole point. That's it's like when I was playing that Parasite Eve, successor. I don't want to see it just make it a 1-to-1 to Parasite Eve. I want to see it take Parasite Eve a step further. Like, you have a good base, it's just, why don't you do better than the predecessor? A lot of people are like, oh, well, I just play it because, oh, it reminds me of the good old days, and thinking that's why it's good. And then you play the game and you actually look it for what it is, and you're like, hey, this game is kind of mediocre. Because those standards from the 90s are not the same as today. So you would expect more of the game. But a lot of people think, oh, because I played something I liked before, it's going to give me the same exact feeling. Which isn't true. It's nice to be nostalgic about things, but don't, think that just because you recreate something you did in the past doesn't mean it's going to hit the same way. Which a lot of people, I think, sadly do that. They get that false sense of, almost like a false sense of hope. Sadly, a lot of people do that shit. And I don't like that. I ain't gonna lie, this is a lot easier to play like this. Seriously, this is way easier to play in third-person view. I think this feels better. Yeah, like I said, dude. Yeah, people just need to not have that false sense of happiness. Don't fall for that. It's a trap to me. I always found it as a trap. That's why you don't see me play a lot of old school stuff, like stuff I've played, stuff I've played before. I don't really run back to the past very much. I just don't do that. I want to look towards new things, create new memories. I think a lot of people are afraid because they're afraid of change. They feel because, well, no, I mean, I like one roguelike. That Toho roguelike is really good. The Toho Dystopia. I like that roguelike. That roguelike's really fun. I'm already done with it though. I pretty much 100%ed it. But that game was really solid, and I only had to spend like 17 hours to do it. transform. That was my fault. Wasn't prepared for that. I mean... I won't play Elden Ring just because I don't like Dark Souls games. Just never did. The only Dark Souls game I've played that's similar to Dark Souls was Little Witch Nobita. I just never liked Dark Souls games. I don't like how they feel. Too slow.